have to be magi'im. We have to touch. It's not enough simply to aspire. You actually have to do. It's not enough to desire to be better. You actually have to do something. So here we gather for the Hilula of the Tzaddik. Baruch Hashem, Rabbi Shlomo has done. Baruch Hashem, the Mangal has done. Baruch Hashem, the Posners have done. But we have to do besides eating. Eating is very nice, but there's something we need to do to connect the soul of the Tzaddik, to connect the Dveikut requires a connection. So what that requires is for us to associate ourselves with one attribute of the Tzaddik, to try to draw ourselves to one thing about the Tzaddik that we can try to bring into our own lives. And that nigi'ah, that attachment, Be'ezrat Hashem, will serve as a conduit to bring all the blessing. May I suggest just one? And I'll conclude with this. Anybody knew anything about the Baba Sali knew that he lived for the Jewish people. In fact, it was Lubavitch Rabbi who said he is a man of the people. Meaning that he didn't live for himself. His life was on behalf of Kahal Yisrael. Anybody who knows the pain that he felt whenever he would hear about the suffering of Jews. A story that, right, that he would on occasion wake up in the morning and say, we're traveling. And they would get into a car, they would range, and they would go. He would go to Meron, and he would sometimes be nervous, and he'd be uncomfortable, and he'd be tense. And he would say, afterwards, when he was relaxed, he would say, Baruch Hashem, our tefillot were heard. There was a terrible gzeirah, there was a terrible decree. And Baruch Hashem, nitbatelah ha-gzeirah, we were able to annul the decree. There's a famous story that when there were Jews that were caught in a hijacking of an airplane, many of the people from America, great tzaddikim, were on that airplane. And they came to the Baba Sali and they said to him, Kvod Harav, we want to talk to you about this terrible calamity. And he said to them, I want you to sit down and eat. We're making a su'udah. And they said, well, we want to talk to you about it. He said, shh, just sit down. They washed, they sat down. The Baba Sali said, do you think that you're going to come and tell me about it? You don't think I already know? I've been working on this for days. I've been crying and I've been pleading with Borei Olam. This past evening I lit candles for the Zchut of the Tzaddikim. And I want to tell you, Tfilati nitqabla. The Gzeirah is nitbatla, they'll be home soon. So therefore we're eating a Sudat mitzvah, a Sudat hoda'ah, and thanks to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Otherwise, do you think I would be eating when people are suffering? This was the way of the Baba Sali. His way was one of connection. His way was one of feeling for the Jewish people. If you hear about the suffering of your brother, your next door neighbor, somebody down the street, don't just let it go by. If you want to connect to the Baba Sali and have, Be'ezrat Hashem, a conduit to his blessing, accept upon yourself, Be'ezrat Hashem, this evening, that when you will hear about somebody, unfortunately, in our city, or elsewhere, that's suffering, whether it be Michael ben Esther or somebody else, that you will take it to heart, and you will say a tefillah for them, even if it's a short one, that you should never miss the opportunity to bless another Jew that requires it. If we take this one, not that you have to, any of the traits of the Baba Sali are fine enough, but if we take this, Be'ezrat Hashem, we take it to heart and we, Be'ezrat Hashem, connect ourselves and we resolve Be'ezrat Hashem, it will serve as a blessing for us and all of Kahal Yisrael. Thank you, Rabbi Raccah. The next thing on the agenda is a dinner which is being served now.